What's up, y'all? Hey, today I'm back with another video, and we're talking about something that we all have and something that we all need to overcome, and that is fear. Now, for myself, I know that I was always very fearful of a lot of things, and I didn't do things in my life that I wanted to do because I was afraid. I didn't know how people would take certain things, how people would talk about certain things. I didn't know if I was able to handle certain things, certain situations and whatnot, and it just hindered me from doing a few things that I wanted to do in my childhood because I was always so afraid of what the outcome could be and all those different things that I mentioned before. But as I've gotten older, I've learned certain things about myself and certain things about people, and I understand how to overcome fear, and I understand that fear is all in the mind. So today, coming and telling you guys 3 tips and things to think about anytime you're trying to overcome fear. Now, for the first tip number 1, you need to realize that this opportunity won't be there forever. And when I say that, I'm not saying you need to rush things that you want to do, because if you don't do it now, then you'll never be able to do it. But I mean it in a way of time is precious and you need to value it. So for a kid that wants to join a basketball team or the chess club in high school, you need to understand that you're not going to be able to be in high school forever. And if you want to do something in high school, you need to do it, because if you don't do it, you'll never get that opportunity. But never feel as though somebody is saying, if you don't get this time now, you're wasting your time and this time won't always be there, because that is true. But everybody moves at their own speed, and everybody has their own time and pace in which they need to go and in which they do go in life. So it's not really the knowing of, hey, I have to do it now, because if I don't do it, I'll never have it. I have to go. I can't waste any time. But to realize that you'll never be this old, or you'll never be in this stage of your life again. The stage that you're in right now, you'll never be in. Even tomorrow, the age that you are today, you won't be that same age tomorrow. You'll be a day older. Just remembering and knowing that, hey, I won't have this opportunity always, so I need to capitalize on it now. Number 2, tip 2, you need to understand that people are not as worried about you as you believe that they are. Now, this is overcoming what people may think of you. And for myself, I know when I was in high school, I loved basketball, but I was a bigger guy, I was a bigger kid, and I believed that if I was to try out for the basketball team and make it and play, people would talk about me. And yeah, people would talk about me and say, hey, this kid is big and whatnot. But eventually they'll get over it. They'll make their jokes, they'll do what they do, and they'll get over it. I thought that I was always going to be the center of attention, that people could not get over that fact. And in doing this, I allowed my fear to force me to not do something that I really want to do. And I believe that I was good enough to make the team, and I was good enough to play in high school, but I never did what I wanted to do because I always believed that somebody was looking at me or somebody would think about me. But just like I feel like people was looking at me, those people also have to look at themselves. They're also thinking about themselves. We lose track that everybody is their own main character. Everybody has their own life. Everybody is focused on themselves more so. Yes, we do all come together and we do talk about people in negative ways, and it's not the way to go, but it's just the truth of life. But it's nowhere near as much as you believe it to be, because people have to focus on themselves. If somebody's always focused on you, they're already going about life in the wrong way because they're not focusing on themselves. So always remember that people are looking at themselves more than they're looking at you. And in doing that, you need to realize that, hey, I'm not as important as I believe I am to these people. Do things that make you feel happy. Do things that you want to do, because as I said in my first point, you won't have this time forever. And the worst thing in life is regret. The feeling of regret. If you try something and you don't succeed, if I tried and I didn't make the team, at least I knew I wasn't good enough to make the team. But now I have to forever live with the regret of knowing that I never even tried because I was fearful of what others would say and what others would think of me. Regret is always worse than attempting. Remember that. Now for my final point, this is the biggest one I believe, and this is something that you need to make sure that you remember, that your mind always makes you believe that things are much more difficult and scary than they actually are. As a kid, I know a lot of you guys used to maybe swim, and when I say swim, I'm just saying go to the pool, and at the pool you see that diving board and people want to jump off the diving board, and as kids a lot of times we're scared to jump off the diving board because we don't know what's going to happen. We don't know if we're going to hurt ourselves. We don't know what it looks like because we've never done it before. And for people that have had this thought, and I've had this thought, I always made it much bigger and much taller than what it actually was. And when I actually ended up doing and jumping off that diving board, I realized, hey, this is actually fun. This isn't as bad as I thought. And this goes to show with everything in life. Us as people, we always make things bigger than what it is in our mind. And this is how our mind is able to trap us and keep us at the level that we're at. Our brain likes to be comfortable. We don't like to do things out of our norm. And each time you try to do something new and try to do something that isn't in your norm, we try to view it as being scary, and our minds automatically force us to believe, hey, this is worse than what it actually is. So you have to get out of that mindset that something is worse than what it is. Because if you don't, then you'll never do it. When you want to go talk to a girl, you always believe that she's going to say something worse than what she really does say. Why? It's because it's something new to you. All you got to do is go and actually talk to the girl and see what happens. It may not go your way, but it definitely is not going to go the way that you view is going in your head. Always try that. If you want to do something with social media, you may think that people are going to talk about you, but they're not going to talk about you as much as you may think that they are. Everything in life that we see from our mind is usually worse than what it actually is. And you have to realize this and make this a note in your head forever, because you'll always think something is worse. So that's really all that I have for you today. These are just 3 tips, 3 things that I've realized in getting older and getting out of my teenage years. So I'm glad that I was able to share that with you guys today, from my eyes to yours. I will be back tomorrow. I appreciate you guys for watching the video. Have a good rest of y'all day, man. Peace.